You sound just like on the commercials here. Go, guys.
Hi, Dr. Guy. Honored to meet you. Sorrel Berg, Director of Housing and Patient Services. Thank you for being here.
And I'm sure you'll hold them up tomorrow, right?
Yes. Where is my building?
You don't have to worry about anything. They don't pay for anything. They cover all the care, the house, the food, the travel. We do so much more for them. We really pay attention to their psychological needs, to their educational needs, to the needs of the parents, to the needs of the siblings that are coming with them. It's coordinated, much of it through school programs.
So when they're in the hospital for a long time, maybe a year, when they go back to school, they're right on time.
Oh, that's great. As a teacher, I really appreciate that.
We're actually expanding our school program in a new center, and we're calling it the Nova School. What we're actually going to do is take advantage of the science we do here and incorporate that into the educational program for the kids so that they can get something they can't get in the regular school. They get exposed to what science is and how they interact with their medical care. But I'd like to, let Catherine say a few words about her journey through St. Jude and her mom through that journey.
Thank you. Spring color. No, but my journey here began in 2015. I was a sophomore in college. I was athletic. I was healthy otherwise, and all of a sudden I started to notice a growth over my sternum. And that just gradually continued to grow and grow, and I was like, well, this isn't right, and I didn't have any other symptoms aside from that. So we began our looking for where to go. I had an X-ray and an MRI, and after the MRI, that's when I first heard it could possibly be cancer. And
it.
Well, that's more like it. That's more like it. Well, welcome to my building. It's a pleasure to have you. Just make yourselves at home. Welcome to everybody, distinguished guests, St. Jude and ALSAC employees, Dr. Downing, CEO of St. Jude. This week, Dr. Downing was elected to the Fellowship of the American Association for Cancer Research. Congratulations, Dr. Downing. We're so proud of you. You know, my father made a promise that no family would ever pay for treatment or travel or housing or food at St. Jude. And we've been able to keep that promise through the stellar leadership of the CEO of ALSAC, St. Jude's fundraising and awareness organization, Rick Shadiak. And as great as they are, best of all, we give a special warm hug and welcome to the First Lady of the United States. What a thrill to have you with us.
Thank you.
You know, I think of my father every time I come to St. Jude, and I always miss him, but I must tell you, especially this week. From the very start, he vowed to protect girls and boys from the ravages of catastrophic disease. Engraved at the entrance, I'm sure you've seen the words, "No child should die in the dawn of life." And he didn't mean no American child. He meant no child, anywhere. And that is why this day looms so large in the magnificent history of this beloved place. How proud my father would be to see the hospital that he founded deliver on that promise today. And we are so deeply honored to welcome 4 new children to our St. Jude family. They are such warriors. They escaped deadly war at home, and now they must escape the deadliest illnesses in their little bodies. And these mothers, my God, when I first met them yesterday, I was simply overcome. They don't speak English, as many St. Jude parents don't, and we always have our interpreter standing by. But who needs an interpreter to understand gratitude? Each of these moms took my hands with their tearful eyes, with all appreciation for providing a safe haven for their precious children. And I told them, no, don't thank me. We thank you. Your babies are the reason we built this place. And I had tears in my eyes, too. Overnight, these families have become immigrants in a foreign land. But at St. Jude, immigrants hold a special place in our hearts because St. Jude was founded by immigrants. My father, the 10th child of impoverished immigrants from Lebanon, gathered a dedicated group of first-generation Lebanese and Syrian Americans to help him realize his vision. And together they built this remarkable hospital as an expression of thanks to this country for opening its arms to their parents, who came to these shores carrying only the dream of a new land for a better life. If that doesn't prove what immigrants bring to this country, I don't know what does. So this is our story, this is our legacy, and today we celebrate once again our conviction that we are all a part of a global family, whether in these children's families in Ukraine, or my father's family from Lebanon, or our distinguished First Lady's roots in Italy. You know, Dr. Biden, my mom was Sicilian, just like your grandpa.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And my father used to say that Sicilians are like Italians, but just a little more suspicious. This historic day would not have been possible without the astonishing efforts of St. Jude Global, our groundbreaking organization that has built an unprecedented network of partners in 61 countries across the globe, led by our brilliant Dr. Carlos Rodriguez Galindo. Dr. Carlos, are you here? How lucky we are. And how lucky we are we've been able to move more than 600 Ukrainian children during this frightening crisis and deliver them to safety in Poland, Germany, Italy, Switzerland, and many other countries. And to ensure their safe care, it's been a breathtaking and breathtaking effort. For 60 years, St. Jude has been a beacon of hope for families in their darkest hour. And today, that beacon shines farther than ever. That is our mission, and that is our promise. And now, I am very pleased to introduce to you the perfect ambassador to St. Jude, because she was a patient herself. She came to St. Jude when she was just 10 years old, and the care she received here not only cured her of her cancer, but set her on a life path she never would have imagined. I asked the First Lady if she'd like a chair, but she insisted on standing. She said, "I'm a politician's wife, I'm used to standing." So, ladies and gentlemen, please meet Ashley McIntyre. Let me get my thing.
That's okay. When the idea of a medical career first crossed my mind, it was a 10-year-old patient receiving treatment here at St. Jude for a bone tumor, osteosarcoma. During the most terrifying time of my life, my St. Jude nurses cared for me and my entire family. That experience inspired me to do that for others. For the past 8 years, I've had the privilege of working at the hospital that saved my life. At St. Jude, we extend care to families from across the nation and around the world. Our aim is to bring them healing and hope in their darkest hours. Yet, in spite of our work, we know that cancer remains the leading cause of death by disease for children in the U.S. That's why we are thrilled to have First Lady Jill Biden here with us today to share information on the Cancer Moonshot Initiative. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Biden to our hospital.
Thank you very much. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Please sit down. Thank you very much. And thank you, Ashley. You know, clearly you were called to your profession, and your story is such a good reminder that small acts of kindness really save us, you know, when we're going through the hardest times. And now you're paying the kindness forward with today's patients, so thank you for that. And it's wonderful to be back here in Tennessee, but especially here at St. Jude. I know that my husband has been here, but this is the first time that I'm here. And like most Americans, I've known the work of this world-known institution, but to see how special this place really is firsthand, you know, it's simply breathtaking. And honestly, you all think of everything here. And your research is saving lives. And Marlo, thank you for welcoming all of us here today. You know, it's my honor to stand with you and to celebrate your father's legacy. And I can remember, you know, as a little girl, just watching your father on TV, and he was always up there. I can remember, you know, talking about St. Jude's Hospital. I mean, it was just part of our childhood that we would see him so often on the television. And gosh, what a wonderful man he really was, you know? You must be so proud of him. And Congressman Cohen and Mayor Strickland and Harris and our dear friend Joyce, thank you for being with us today. Before I begin my remarks, I just wanted to say that our hearts are with the families in New Orleans who have been hurt by the storms earlier this week. I'm sure you've all seen it on the television. So please keep those families in your prayers. And I don't know about all of you, but it's just like, you know, these days I think we're all just sitting in front of the TV praying constantly. You know, it's the people in Ukraine, people in Poland, I mean, just the, you know, people in New Orleans. It's, a lot of people are going through tough stuff. So prayer never hurts. And, you know, as parents, I mean, we would do anything, I think, to keep our children safe. And that's why one of the hardest parts of a cancer diagnosis is that paralyzing sense of helplessness. But here at St. Jude, you know, hearing about so many cutting-edge approaches to this disease, we are reminded that we aren't helpless, In fact, we're living in a time of incredible possibility. And Dr. Downing, thank you for showing me around, and I'm just so inspired by all the things that are happening here. I mean, just look at the people in the audience, the doctors, the nurses, the scientists. I mean, honestly, you are incredible. Just your passion for this and your dedication and your hearts. I mean, I just see it all throughout the hospital. And we can end cancer as we know it. And that's what the Cancer Moonshot is all about. And it's about listening to patients and survivors and their families and finding new ways to ease the burdens they face. It's about delivering new effective treatments, including for childhood cancers, that turn a diagnosis from a moment of devastation into hope. And it's about bringing the brightest minds and the fiercest hearts to the table to learn and collaborate and discover together. And that's who you are. So St. Jude understands that. And you support the entire family throughout the process. And I just saw that when I was visiting with the families, and the little kids were there, you know, their moms were there, and they were talking about the journey here to the United States, and the kids were playing with Play-Doh. And, they seemed comfortable, and they didn't seem sad. I mean, they were just like normal kids, like normal families. And, you know, it was just, it's amazing. And Marlo, I mean, as you told me, you know, this is world-class care at no cost and a tireless commitment to researching treatments and cures for childhood cancers. And you have saved countless young lives. You offer healing and hope, care and community, a place of refuge for those facing the worst. And like all of us, I mean, my God, my heart has ached watching the videos of Ukraine. The unthinkable bombing of a maternity ward, the theater, sheltering families turned to debris and dust, parents weeping over their child's broken bones and their bodies in the streets. The senselessness of it all is just staggering. And that's why my husband Joe is working night and day to bring the world together to support Ukraine with diplomacy and crippling sanctions against Russia. In fact, yesterday he attended a NATO summit to discuss the defense of our allies. And today, you might have seen it, I just actually spoke to him on my way here from the plane. He's in Poland, and he met with our troops and humanitarian partners, and seeing our efforts on the ground for himself, and learning more about, you know, what we and others can do to support the Ukrainian people. As part of our support, Joe announced yesterday that the U.S. will welcome up to 100,000 Ukrainians and others fleeing Russian aggression. But when I learned that St. Jude was working with hospitals in Europe to bring some of the Ukrainian children with cancer and their families here, I felt so proud, and I wanted to join you in welcoming them. We stand with Ukraine, and we're praying for their families. So thank you, all of you, to St. Jude and everyone who helped bring these children to safety. We often hear that a measure of a society is how we treat our most vulnerable members. We know that we have a responsibility to care for children. But anyone who has held that tiny life, who has looked into those big saucer eyes and felt those impossibly strong fingers just wrap around your own, knows, you know it's much more than an obligation. It's a joy, a gift, the honor of a lifetime. And not just our children, but like you said, Marlo, all children. Because inside each one is a world of possibility, of hope, of all the better tomorrows we pray that will come. And we owe them an end to cancer as we know it. We owe them safety and health. We owe them happiness and joy, the chance to be a kid, and together, all of us, as we keep on working, we can do this together. Thank you.